Alright, so Marc Marquez is absolutely crushing it in the 2025 MotoGP World Championship. Right now, he's winning almost everything. It doesn't matter if it's the Saturday sprint or the full race on Sunday. He's taking it all. And honestly, he's leaving his rivals with no chance. In this video, we're going to break down exactly why. Why is Marc so dominant? Why he's able to beat riders as good as Pecco Bagnaia, Jorge Martín, Pedro Acosta, and even his own brother, Alex Márquez. And more importantly, how is he riding in a way that makes him untouchable? Now, some people will say, well, he's got the best bike on the grid. That's the reason. And yeah, that's partly true. His Ducati is top bike. It's one of the best ones out there. But here's the thing. Guys like Bagnaia, Dian Antonio, Alex Márquez, Aldeguer, they're all on Ducatis as well. Some on the 2024 version and some on the 2025. But still pretty much the same bike. So the bike alone isn't what makes the difference. Because we've seen Aprilias and KTMs run at the same pace plenty of times. What actually separates Marc from the rest? It's pretty simple. It's just Marc himself. Alright, so let's break down the 5 keys that explain why he's on another level. Key number 1, braking. Marc brakes later than anyone else on the grid. We see it every race, when he pulls off overtakes in spots that seem almost impossible, closing the line perfectly, and somehow the others cannot get him back on the brakes. So how does he do it? Well, at this level, you wouldn't think braking could be where a rider finds an edge. But Marc can carry the brakes way deeper into the corner than anyone else. He leans the bike hard and still keeps braking. Normally, that's where crashes happen. The more you lean, the more brake you use, the higher the chance you're going to tuck the front. But Marc has this insane feel for the bike, something that no one else has. He can keep that front tire alive under crazy amounts of pressure. Of course, he does crash sometimes, but look at the results. He's still winning nearly every race. The mistakes he makes are usually in places like Jerez or Austin, or during time attacks. But lap after lap, race after race, he holds that brake pressure longer than anyone else, playing with the edge of the front tire. And that's what's making the difference. Key number 2, acceleration. MotoGP bikes are monsters. 1000 cc's, almost 300 horsepower. Corner exit is everything, and Marc, he's the best at getting the bike stood up, putting down the power, and firing out quicker than anyone. Because he brakes so late, by the time he's inside the corner, he's already setting up to exit. He lifts the bike aggressively, gets it upright really fast, and then just launches. He's also got an incredible feel for the rear tire. He can let the bike slide, twist the throttle, and actually use that sliding to help the bike turn. And he's literally steering with the throttle, making the bike dig in, gain traction, and cover more ground without losing the line. It's something that Danny Pedrosa used to do, and Marc probably picked it up during their Honda years together. Now with Ducati, he's actually perfected that technique. When he accelerates, the bike slides, grips, and just rockets forward. That's why he's getting so much time on exits. Key number 3, the racing line. At this level, everyone's taking good lines. It's MotoGP after all. But Marc's line is a little different, and it gives him an edge. Because he brakes so deep and lifts the bike so early, his line through the corner isn't the same as the others. He uses what's called the apex line. Basically, he dives deep on the brakes, goes a little long, then picks up the bike and accelerates way harder than the rest. It looks like he's overshooting sometimes, but he's not. That's just his style. By doing this, he gets drive out of the corners that others can't match. We especially see this in left-hand corners, which is his strong side. Tracks like Sachsenring or Balaton Park, where there are tons of lefts, and he's actually destroying people with this line choice. Key number 4, changes of direction. Marc is insanely fast when flicking the bike from side to side. It's all about body position. He hands off the bike like most riders, but here's the difference. Compared to guys like Bagnaia or Jorge Martín, Marc doesn't hang his whole body out quite as far. His head and torso stay a little closer to the bike. It might not sound like much, but it makes him more efficient. He can snap the bike from one side to the other quicker than the riders who throw their whole body way out. On tracks with lots of chicanes, like Balaton, this saves him a ton of time. He's smooth, fluid, and gains tenths just by being faster in transitions. And here's another thing, Marc cuts inside the curves more than anyone else. He'll dip the bike right up against the inside of the curve, something that most riders avoid. Usually that's risky, but Marc, he makes it work. But let's not forget that it caught him once in Austin when the track was wet, but in normal conditions, it's just another area where he gains ground against his rivals. And finally, key number 5, mentality. This one might be the biggest. Marc Marquez simply doesn't fear crashing. He rides closer to the limit than anyone else. He takes more risks and has more ambition to win every single time he's on track. When he was at Honda, the bike wasn't as capable, but Marc still rode at the absolute edge. That's why he crashed so much during that era. But it also forced him to reach a level that no one else could. Now that he's on a Ducati, he doesn't have to push as dangerously, as close to the edge, so he's not hitting the ground as often. But the mentality hasn't changed at all. He's ready to risk everything, every lap, if that's what it takes to win. And remember, this is a guy who's been through brutal injuries, like the one at Jerez. Most riders would back off after that. No, Marc, he comes back with the same fire, the same hunger. That kind of mentality crushes rivals, not just on track but mentally, because they know Marc will push harder, risk more, and go places that they're not willing to go. That's the difference maker. So to sum it all up, Marc Marquez in 2025 is the complete package. He's got the bike, yes, he's got the best bike on the grid, but it's his braking, his acceleration, his unique lines, his quick transitions, and his fearless mentality that sets him apart. That's why he's dominating in MotoGP right now. And that's why if you're lining up against him, you're basically racing for a second place. So what do you think? Can anyone actually stop Marc Marquez this season? Or are we just watching another year of pure domination? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit like, subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.